Hi and welcome to today's vlog. Today's vlog is tinged with a little sadness, but we'll come on to that in a moment or two. First, to update you on how things have been going. Yesterday was a very productive day. We went out in the morning and managed to buy a dishwasher at a very good price. Sue is one of Sue's really good gifts and fruitful gifts, helpful gifts, is to be able to sniff out bargains, and she certainly did. So we've got a dishwasher. Our brother-in-law David is coming in a couple of days to install it, because I'm, as probably many of you know, not really good with practical things, so it's always good to know someone who is. So that'll be really helpful. So in future, when you come and visit us, you won't have to do the washing up afterwards, so that's good news. We also managed to do one or two other important jobs. We went along to a conservatory place and invited one of their reps to come round and give us some guidance about the possibility of adding on a conservatory, which will give us a bit more space and will be really helpful. Anyway, we'll wait to see if that happens or not. I've also ordered a raised bed for the garden, so things are happening. In the meantime, we continue to try and sort out the house, etc. When I was at Methodist Training College back in, many years ago, in the late 80s, I was given all students who were about to leave college and go into circuit ministry were given a couple of warnings. These weren't official, but one of the guys gave these two warnings. The first was that if you become a minister, it means you'll either go bald or you'll go grey. And that certainly happened in my case. The grey happened some years ago, so that came true. The second was to beware of supernumerary ministers. Now, supernumerary ministers are retired ministers. They're called supernumerary. So one of the issues that sometimes arises is you go into a particular place and there is a retired minister who is perhaps worshipping at one of your churches, and sometimes retired ministers can be a bit of a pain in the neck, to put it mildly, because they, whether deliberately or not, kind of have an influence and maybe can be seen as interfering if you don't agree with what you're doing or saying. So there can be a bit of a fly in the ointment. Fortunately, my general experience has been that supernumerary ministers I've come across have been very supportive, and really it's been good to have them as part of my churches. But there are one or two exceptions to that, but we don't need to go into that. When I came to Doncaster, one of the supernumerary or retired ministers in our circuit was the Reverend Richard Plant. Richard was, I guess, there in his early 70s when we arrived in Doncaster in the year 2000. And he was, though retired, still very active. He helped out in the circuit, and in the church where I was minister, right in the town centre, he would regularly get involved. He would preach, take services. I remember on one occasion when I was asked to do 2 weddings in different churches at the same time, that Richard agreed to do one of them. So he was really helpful and supportive. He and his wife Anne were very helpful, very supportive, very caring of Sue and myself. Priory, which is the church where I was minister, had and has had until recently, I guess, because of the coronavirus, a ministry called Rest a While, where 3 mornings a week the church hall downstairs would be opened up and tea and coffee and biscuits would be served, and the church literally had hundreds and hundreds of people coming into the premises week by week, and that was a great ministry. And as equally, if not more important, in that ministry, not only the serving tea and coffee and biscuits, but the opportunity to chat with people and to get to know folk. And I used to go in and walk around the tables and chat with folk, but Richard Plant, the retired minister, used to come in very regularly to Rest a While. In fact, he used to walk from his home often which is probably a couple of miles from the town centre. And he was really well loved and well respected. People enjoyed him coming around, and every now and then Rest a While organised a coach outing for people who came to Rest a While, and Sue and I would go, and Richard would often be part of that, and he was greatly loved. And even until recent years, I think that's continued Richard's ministry. Although he's getting older, obviously, and a bit more frail, he was still wanting to do his bit, and really very much appreciated Richard and all that he did in the life of the church. Even though he was retired, he was still keen to get involved, keen to do things. And Richard, one of his hobbies, if you like, although in a sense it was more than a hobby, he was an expert, was on ancient coins. And I just happened to find in my bookshelf one of the booklets, or one of the books he's written. This one's called Collector's Roman Coins, and very interesting, looking at all the different coins relating to the Roman Empire. And another book that he's written, which was very interesting also, which I had a copy, I don't know if I still got it, maybe somewhere on my shelves, was a book all about coins of the Bible. And that's really interesting, tracing the relationship between coins and the Bible story. That's a fascinating read. I would really recommend it if you want to get hold of that. So Richard was fascinated in his love of, interest in, and talking about coins. In fact, once or twice I went with him when he gave lectures, and always fascinating. And his sense of humour would always come into his talks. Now I'm just searching for something that I need to show you. And this is, you might wonder why is he showing us this? This is a rock. I don't know if it's only got any significance other than it was given to me many years ago by Richard. This indicates his sense of humour. And it says, it's got a sticker attached to it. It's quite faded, and it says, Happy Christmas. This is to help you control the property committee. So that was Richard's, an indication of Richard's great sense of humour that he had. And when Sue and I arrived in Doncaster just very recently, we knew that Richard was very, very poorly. He was still at home with his wife Anne, and so we rang Anne and arranged to pop round and see them. Richard at that time had been confined to bed, but he was getting support, carers coming in regularly. And although he was clearly very weak and drifting in and out of consciousness, or alertness, if you like, we're able to have a brief chat and spend some time with Anne and Richard. And even then, though he was laid in his bed, that lovely smile that he had and that sense of humour came across. And we heard just a couple of days ago that Richard died this week. So that's a sad thing in some ways, isn't it? Because even though when you expect someone to die, it still comes as a bit of a shock. And although you don't want to see a loved one in suffering, and when you know that loved one has faith in Christ, you know that their eternal destiny is secure, and you want them to be released into the presence of God in that place where there is no pain or sighing or sadness or tears. But at the same time, you know you're going to really miss them. So our thoughts and our prayers are with Anne and their and the family at this time. But though there is that sadness, that sense of loss, there is we can really celebrate Richard's life, that he gave so much, the person he was, the love that he offered, the commitment to continue to serve and to be alongside people, even in these retirement years. And I hope and pray that my retirement years, however long or short they may be, will be years of fruitfulness like Richard's were, and that I'll be able to offer what I have got to serve in whatever way God leads me to. So a bit sad today that we've lost Richard, but so grateful for his life and the support that he and Anne gave to Sue and I while we were here in Doncaster, and now we're back, and no doubt we'll be able to renew our friendship with Anne. So if you're a praying person, please do pray for Anne and the family as they mourn Richard's loss. But let's give thanks that for the Christian, for the person who believes in Jesus, death is not the end. It's simply a doorway into a new life in the very presence of God. So thanks for watching. God bless you. Have a great day.